And today I want to talk about some brutally honest advice that I have for you about moving to the UK from someone who has been there. If you think that moving to the UK means that you'll be just sipping tea all day long in a quaint little cottage with view of the countryside, and you'll run into celebrities in London and they'll be awkward but cute and very endearing, think again. That's not the reality of living in the UK at all. Most of us are just trying to not get soaked in the rain, get where we gotta go, and figure out how to open a bank account or how to rent an apartment. British people are lovely, don't get me wrong. And there's a lot of stereotypes and there's a lot of personality in media, in movies, in television that are true. But overall, there's really no difference. Everyone's just trying to live their life. They're trying to do their thing and trying to get through their day, just like any American or anybody else would be. So just bear that in mind. It's really the land of cozy living, in my opinion. And I mean, everything is smaller. I'm talking homes, appliances, vehicles, shower spaces, bathrooms, even big box stores are smaller. You are going to have to learn to adjust and be willing to give up a little bit of your personal space in order to thrive here in the UK. Good news is that the British people have been extremely innovative in how they can use every square footage in the UK. So even though you might have to have a smaller footprint on the map, you actually do use every nook and cranny, and you are able to get a lot out of the space that you're given here in the UK. Been with my British partner for almost 20 years. I have been in contact with British people for that long, and I am very much accepted as part of the culture and the circle. But there's always going to be something that strikes you as funny, awkward, and you're just always going to feel a little bit like an outsider, no matter how comfortable you get, no matter how long you've been in this place. Even if you master things like when to say cheers or when to say sorry or calling it a bin instead of a garbage can, you're just going to slip up every once in a while, and they're still going to know, even if you say it the British way, that you're not actually British. So again, don't take this personally. This is just a cultural thing. Even when you think you're blending in, you're really not, as I said in a previous segment. But British people have this overall cultural politeness where they just won't want to say anything. And a lot of people can misconstrue that as they didn't really notice that you made a mistake, which I've assumed on many occasions and have been proven wrong on just as many occasions. Definitely notice that you tried to leave a tip when you didn't have to, or that you said dollars instead of pounds. In the end, it's just them watching you adapt to this new culture, and they really most of the time don't mean it in a harsh or mean way. They're just taking a good look at a foreigner trying to navigate their new culture. It is a very long, involved process. They are particular and scrutinize everything when going through the visa process, and you have to go through it several times before you can become a permanent resident here in the UK. It's expensive, it's complicated, there's paperwork out your ass. As complicated as it's been, there's always been a lot of people willing to help when you have a question or you don't understand something. So even though it can be extremely intimidating, and even though it can have that kind of emotional and psychological toll on you, stay with it. Just make sure that you're going over everything 2 or 3 times. And if you don't understand something, make sure you ask or you get help from someone who is very familiar. It's going to be expensive, and there's always going to be expenses that pop up that you didn't realize. This is something I got caught out on, and I had to scramble at the last minute to try to find money to pay for certain things and surpluses that I wasn't sure that I was supposed to at the time. And it ended up causing havoc for my finances. So avoid that in the future. Always have some kind of contingency plan that's just for your visas so that you don't have to worry about that aspect of it, and it'll make the stress of going through the entire visa process and all of the renewals and stuff a lot less stressful for you. Now, I am never going to say anything negative about the healthcare system here in the UK. Coming from America, it is light years better than anything that I've experienced in the American culture by far. But it isn't necessarily free, and especially when you're coming in as an immigrant, you have to pay extra surpluses into the NHS. So not only will you have to pay out of your regular wages, but you also have to pay surpluses for every time that you renew your visa and your residency. Understand that at point of service, you don't have to pay anything. You will not get a bill in the mail. However, what you will have to pay for is a lesson in patience. It's just that there's not a lot of resources put into the NHS at the moment. It is something that you might have to wait for, especially if it's considered elective or not an emergency. British are very friendly people, but it takes them a while to warm up. You really have to earn their friendship. So you will have to be consistent. You will have to be patient. You will have to put yourself out there more times than you probably feel comfortable with. To pay attention to the inflections and tones of people that say they want to get together with you, because oftentimes they might say that just to be polite, when they really don't have any intention of hanging out with you ever again, unfortunately. But if you are consistent, you will wear them down, and then suddenly you're in their circle. You're always going to be a little bit of an outsider, but that's okay. Just keep participating, just keep putting yourself out there, and eventually you will find your circle of friends and you will find your support group. But the good news is the rain that happens here, it's not always a downpour. It's kind of like a fleeting drizzle, maybe a mist. You have a lot of damp air. Most British people I know don't use an umbrella unless it's a really bad storm. But the really bad storms usually are accompanied with wind, so the umbrella becomes ineffective in a sense. So just invest in a really good waterproof jacket, and eventually you won't even notice the rain. I walk to and from the train station, and I actually am starting to enjoy walking in the rain. It can be really pleasant and kind of revitalizing and rejuvenating. So just having a little bit of rain in the background is kind of the British way. So just embrace it. Don't try to fight it. Take my advice. It's not worth it. You're not going to get anywhere anyway. Things like supersized coffees, true one-stop shops that are as big as a huge warehouse, central heating and air conditioning. Those moments when you're really having just a really foreign day and you feel like a complete outsider and isolated, and all you want is your favorite comfort food. You want to be able to just go to a Target or Costco and be able to get all of those things. It might not always be the case. Now, you will find something else that you will miss, and it's going to be something you didn't think you would. So you just have to realize that when you do have those moments, take a moment, make sure you're processing that emotion. It's okay for you to miss that. It's okay for you to feel a little bit annoyed that you can't find that. But it's also something that is fleeting, and it's something that you'll get over really quickly once you acknowledge it and work through it. So just breathe, and hopefully you can find a UK equivalent that makes you feel just as comfortable and will keep you satisfied until you can find what it is you're really looking for. While I absolutely adore the British sense of humor, please know that they can be savages about it. They are kings and queens of sarcasm, and they will completely take the piss out of you constantly, especially if they are fond of you. They're not trying to be mean at all. It's something that's in the water. I don't know, but in all reality, it is a sign of affection. If someone's roasting you, it means they like you. If they're really, really nice to you, that's when you have to be worried. But once you get past the initial culture shock and you really start to settle in and find your place, you will start to embrace British life in a way that you didn't even think was possible. It's much slower here, a quiet magic that kind of underlines the culture. You will learn that British people are lovely. I mean, in every sense of the word. And you will learn that the British culture is extremely resilient. They work very hard. They're very humble and understated, but they also get extremely passionate, and they're not afraid to show you that passion. There's so much for the UK to offer you, but you have to be willing and open to embrace it. And in order to really fully appreciate it, you're gonna have to work at it a little bit. And the best thing that I can think of to tell you is be open, be willing. If you're willing, the British culture will completely embrace you, but you have to learn how to embrace it as well. And if you can master that and the sarcasm and be able to drink tea when you go over someone's house, you're gonna be golden. Just make sure you don't come here expecting it to be just like the United States with just a posh accent. Do your research and don't worry. There's gonna be confusion, there's gonna be awkward moments, but that often forms the bonds that you need to find the new friends and the new circle and your comfort level here in the UK. Later on, after a few years, those awkward moments and all those mistakes that you made will end up being the best stories that you're gonna tell. If you're thinking of moving to the UK, and you have a question, drop it in the comments below. I'm happy to help in any way that I can. Make sure you subscribe if you want more expat stories and advice, culture shocks, random British stuff, reactions, all that stuff. We do it all here on the Hickson Diaries. Thank you so much for listening. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you next time.